Hello, everyone, and welcome to Leadership Today. You can see our new emblem and logo up on board. And Celia, we're so excited about the lighthouse, aren't we?
Oh, my gosh, Andy. When you planted that seed in my mind, should it be about a lighthouse?
Yeah.
It just resonated. It is exactly.
Well, okay, Celia, welcome.
Thank you, Andy.
My co-host, the Leadership Today, and I tell you, we've just had a great conversation as always, and we just finished a great meeting at Walmart, the alumni meeting.
Oh, it was fabulous.
Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah, and it's such a special thing that we get invited in as alumni to get an update, personally shared by Doug and his direct reports on how's the business doing, as well as, and we get to ask any kind of question that we have on our mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're tough ones. I mean, we work there long enough that we know some tough questions.
We do.
And they're gracious too.
Yeah, it was a great meeting. It's great to see all our former colleagues, it wasn't it? You know, it's just great to see all the great people that we got to spend a lot of time with. And it just has a special meaning to us, doesn't it?
Because a company is much more than just, going into work every day and what you get to do, but it's who you get to do that great work with.
It is. You're right about that. Am I excited about today's podcast?
Me too.
We, as we have talked before, we have referred many times to Celia's book, Gracious and Strong, and I will tell you what we're going to do today. We're going to get so deep into about you being gracious and strong, and I will tell you the next several podcasts, why the previous ones have been so good, they're going to get really, really good. And we're going to get in and talk about you and your life and beyond work. And we're going to get all into this. And so, Celia, I'm so excited. And today, we're going to talk about your personal mission statement.
Yes, we are.
Wow. It gets a bit emotional at times for us, and it probably should, Celia, because Celia's going to walk us through how we really prepare to write that mission statement, which is so critical because I know for me, when I was ready to write mine, I will tell you, I remember it was like yesterday or this morning. That's how I remember the space where I was sitting, what I was thinking, and how I cleared my mind to prepare myself. So, see, let's get straight into this because you have got so much in your book about this, and I know you're going to reference other things, documents and things where we can get into this. But, Celia, let's go.
Yep,
let's get started. Okay.
I just believe sitting down, getting deep, understanding your values, your why, and how you're going to apply that in your life. That's what I mean by a personal mission statement. It's critical to guiding, like a lighthouse, guiding where you're going to invest your time, why you're investing your time and resources in certain places, and then really helps you discover your own purpose. And so this whole path of creating a personal mission statement is, I think, one of those life-changing moments when you really go deep and you get the right words. And they might not come out in the first time that you write your personal mission statement, but what we're going to talk about is what is a personal mission statement, give you a formula that you can use to write your own personal mission statement, and then talk about why does it matter and how do you apply it in your life.
Okay, let's go. So, okay, hold on, everyone. This is going to be good. And I'll tell you, we'll make sure we attach it. We're going to attach articles to this because it's going to be so, and we'll do that on our website, our new website, Leadership Today.
Excited about that.
Okay, let's do it.
So, what I think for me, a personal mission statement became critical at some critical junctures in my life. When I started questioning, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Is this what God meant for me to do with my life? And how can I be the very best at what I do? I was when I sat down and wrote my own personal mission statement. I'd had goals and aspirations before I wrote this personal mission statement, but they were pretty much career and aspirational of how far could I take my career. And they weren't based on my full set of personal values. And so it was at a time when I was really questioning. I was getting asked a lot of questions like, would you volunteer here? Would you be part of our organization from a volunteer and community perspective? And I was getting bombarded by those things. And I had to figure out why and what I wanted to focus my time and energy on. And it also became a way for me to say, no, I know that my sweet spot is related to children and women. And what I discovered is once I found my personal mission statement, I reflected back. It became crystal clear once I looked back and thought, here are all the choices I've made along the way. Now I can make them with my eyes wide open and use it as my North Star.
I love it.
So that's why a mission statement is so important. It can become your North Star, and it can help you filter where you believe you can be the most effective and the most successful, and where you don't want to spend time and effort as you move forward. So your personal mission statement, it will also grow and evolve over your lifetime. In fact, Andy and I were talking about the specific words, and we will both share our personal mission statements. But I just want to start with a couple of notable mission statements, just so you have a concept in your mind of, gosh, what does one even look like? And I'll start with Oprah Winfrey's. And hers is to be a teacher and to be known for inspiring my students to become more than they thought they could be. Now, when you think about Oprah Winfrey, that's what she does, is she opens people up and, creates inspiration out of these people that she meets and then helps them be more than they thought they could be. Or I think about Eric Schmidt at Google. My mission is to collect all the world's information and make it accessible to everyone. Well, isn't that where we are today, right?
I think he's accomplished that.
Yeah, he did. He accomplished it well. Go Google it,
yeah,
right?
right.
Or Sam Walton, which we know really well. And Sam Walton's personal mission statement was to work together to lower the cost of living for everyone, giving the world an opportunity to see what it's like to save and have a better life. And we know, save and have a better life is core to the mission of the organization. So those are just a couple examples.
Those are great.
But how do you go about, what are the steps to writing a personal mission statement? So for me, step one is to start with your values and your why. And sitting down, we've talked about values and the importance of understanding your values in a prior podcast. But I love this reference to narrowing down values to the 7 F's because it helps me kind of bring the whole concept of values together in something that's tangible. And so the 7 F's are family. Firm means your career. All aspects of your job. Fitness, that's your physical and your mental health. Faith, friendship, finance, and fun. And in the material that we'll post, there's definitions of each of those, but they're pretty, clear just in their proper wording. And so the process that I would suggest you go through is take down those 7 and then prioritize the top 5. what are the most critical values for you in your life? And then take a step even deeper and pick the top 3. Because the sorting, Andy, sorting it down to the few that you know are most drivers and critical in your life helps you to get to then answering the question of what is my why? And Simon Sinek is the best I know on this topic. He's fantastic on discovering your why. But what you do, how you do it, and why you do it are all very different. And the why is at the center, as he calls it, of your golden circles. So being about why you do what you do and understanding your why is core to understanding then the words that you're going to put together for your personal mission statement. So go on YouTube, watch Simon Sinek. He's got great content out there on what's your why. The second step is then to choose your mission. And, with more clarity about your values and your why, a good mission statement has to have 2 components. 1, it needs to be aspirational. And 2, it needs to be clear. Because it's going to be like a lighthouse for you and your guiding principles about what you're going to tell the world you're all about, and then how you're going to live your life to be all about those values. And it's never one and done exercise. So don't be afraid if you don't come up with all the words the first time. Set it aside, reflect on it, ideate on it, and you will truly find the right words. And then find somebody that you trust and value, and share those words. Read it aloud to them. Find out does it resonate with them? Does that describe who you are? And hone it until it feels right for you. Then the third step is pulling it all together. And by this, I mean in the actual personal mission statement, there are 3 components. The first is the value you create, plus who are you creating it for is the second. And the third is, and what's your expected outcome? So the value you create, who you are creating it for, and the expected outcome. I love this, phrase of your life is worth a noble mission, and it really is. So don't make it small, make it noble and aspirational. And if you break it down into those 3 components, for me, how I broke it down was, what is my unique value that I bring to organizations, relationships, individuals? And for me, it's my voice. And I mean that because I've had the opportunity to sit in very exclusive circles, such as the executive committee for Walmart, Inc., in boardrooms that are guiding important organizations, in one-on-one conversations with people of great influence. And what I've learned was I wasn't usually, I wasn't surrounded by other women most of the time. I was often surrounded by mostly men. Why was I there? I was asked to be there because I had a perspective about life and about our business that was different from the others seated around the table. And my voice needed to be heard. And it was not okay for me to sit back and not contribute. I had to be in the discussion, and my voice needed to be heard. The second is my voice is my influence. And so, I have a great opportunity to influence in so many different ways. And so my ability to influence is my unique value proposition. So then the second component, who are you creating it for? Don't write everyone. I mean, you've got to hone it down.
Yeah.
The world, you've got to really decide, who are you focused on, bringing to life with your personal mission statement. So think about the audience that you want to influence. In my particular case, what I learned is that children were really an important driver for me. It seemed like every time I got asked to be on a board or to get involved in something in the community, it always had something to do with children's health. And I was shocked when I looked back and saw how all those decisions had come together and centered around children, because I never thought I was going to have a family. I was career focused. I did not think there was going to be children in our life. Thank you. God blessed me with one, and she's magnificent. But this influence that I personally can have for children's health, but also for women, that again, I was often the only one in the room. And I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted to change the numbers so that women had their opportunity to use their voice and create influence. But then the third part is, for what expected outcome? What did I want to have the outcome of using my voice for women and children? For what outcome? And for me, the outcome is to allow them to break through barriers that limit their ability to be significant. Every single one of those words is meaningful. Breaking through barriers, their ability to get past what seems to be a blocker for them in their lives, and this ability to be significant. There's greatness around success, but there's real, your why is around helping others be significant. And it speaks to servant leadership, which is our topic. So my personal mission statement, all in one statement, is my life's mission is to use my voice for women and children and allow them to break through barriers that limit their ability to be significant. That's my personal mission statement, Andy.
I when I read your mission statement as we were prepping and working together on the series, what you didn't know and I didn't know about each of us, our mission statements use one word, voice.
Yes, that's right.
And you used it in yours. You didn't know I used it in mine until we shared those. And our journey was how we prepared was very similar. I was sitting out in Utah, beautiful place, and I was at a retreat there. And part of this retreat is a development retreat, but part of this retreat was to do what you just have suggested. Let's spend time alone, and then let's think through this. And they, just like you have given us these steps, they've given us similar steps. And I think that what was hard for me was take those words and get them to 5 and get them to 3.
The values,
the value statements. That was hard for me.
Yes, me too.
To narrow it down, but it should be hard for us, and because it gets you to that deep thinking space.
Yes,
that you think about your life, and I will tell you, I recommend you going on this journey, and I call it a journey.
Yes,
it's a bit of a journey to get this right. And I have updated and changed mine from time to time as my life has changed. As I looked at, things, when I did this, I was deep into my career. And I was very, very focused around, at that point, those things. But as I've gotten older, things have changed. My focus have changed.
Yes.
And so has my mission statement.
Yeah.
Has changed.
Yes.
And updated. The core is still there, but so I will read mine. How's that?
Just
okay.
about to ask you, will you share it, Andy?
I will.
Okay,
Very good. Mine is to use your voice. Your voice is not just a sound. Okay. Now, it's not. And I had to get there because Celia and I both had a lot of responsibility at Walmart, and we had a lot of influence, and we're there for a long time, and we built credibility and our integrity and what we did. But so as you build those things, then your voice becomes even more impactful.
Yes.
But your voice is not just the sound coming out of your mouth. It's the signature of coming out of your life. And I still get somewhat emotional about this because your voice is the signature that's coming out of your life.
Yeah. Andy, it's so powerful.
And it is that. And each of you have tremendous impact. And it can be impact on your children, your family, or your community, or a company, or the nation, the world. Whatever, it has impact, and you have influence. And don't minimize the influence or impact that you can have with the people around you. And it doesn't matter about the numbers. It matters most about the people that love you and you love them, and you want to have a great impact on that.
Yes.
And I will tell you, my ranking of the values changed through the years.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay. Celia and I have been visioning somewhat about the future of our podcast and where we're going with leadership today, servant leadership today. And I will tell you, I'm excited about where this is going. Mm-hmm. And we don't know yet everything, but I can guarantee you it's about impact. And it's about our voice coming out with it being very, very strong to have impact upon you, our listeners, and our viewers, so we can share with you that journey.
Andy, I want to share one statement. Sure. Because I think for me, I wanted to be defined by service and by excellence. And so when people think about, what's the impact that I've made or I've left behind, I want it to be about, and that impact, service and impact, which is again why I picked significance. But this quote from Dan Zadra is, live your life so that your children can tell their grandchildren that you not only stood for something wonderful, you acted upon it.
I love that.
I do too. And that's what I want my grandchildren.
Yeah.
And those who I have the privilege to touch, to be able to say, yes, she stood for something wonderful and she acted on it.
Right. See, that's so good. And now some of us may be thinking, well, I didn't have a family like you and Celia, but you don't know yet about that. I didn't have this, I didn't have that. Well, if I was to tell you what I didn't have, you'd be shocked while I'm sitting in this chair today. But it's not about that. And we'll talk in a bit about just what I call the attitude here. Mm-hmm. And I want to share some things later in the podcast about that as we wrap up. But Celia, I like your process. I like how you're challenged us to think through this.
Yes.
And you've given us these steps in this process. I like this process map that you've laid out, these 3 points, okay? Because I think like that.
I do too, Andy. I always think break it down.
Yeah.
It can be daunting if you don't think about its components and its parts, which you guys will learn if you haven't learned already.
Yeah.
Somebody else did this before me, right?
Yeah.
How can I create the model so that it can be replicated in others, through others? So
good.
Just the last step in personal mission statement is then go try it on for size, right?
Yeah.
Tell people, share it. Let people give you a reaction to it.
Yeah.
Really those who you're close to, who are going to be able to discern, no, those are fake words, not authentic, or is this authentic for you? And it will bubble up to be the right words and something you'd be proud to share. And
good.
That's how you finalize writing a noble mission.
And again, all this is on our website, Leadership Today, and you'll see all this, and you can also get this in Celia's book, as I mentioned at the very front of our podcast, Gracious and Strong. So, what I'm going to share with you next is a few things that, as I was prepping a couple weeks ago for our podcast, I was thinking about our attitude, and you say, well, Andy, what's that got to do with this? Well, it has a lot to do with it. I can't say this without thanking someone. Betty Porter, you do not know her, and you will never know her, but she's passed away now. But Betty Porter was one of my high school teachers, and she dragged me out of nothing wrong with this, a mechanics class. And she put me into a newly formed leadership class. And I don't know why at the time, but she's seen something that I didn't see in myself. And she taught me some of these values. And I will tell you, I call Betty Porter, Celia, every time something significant in my life happened, I call Betty Porter. And this is, the long story short, when she passed away, I was at Walmart, and I went to her funeral, of course. I began to talk to her son when she wasn't able to talk to me on the phone, and as she was ill and getting worse, and we continued our conversation for years, and because she has had the most influence in my life of any one individual, and I took some interns with me that was in my area of responsibility to the funeral with me, and I wanted them to meet the woman that without her guidance and her belief in me, I wouldn't accomplish what I accomplished in my life. So what she taught me, she said, Andy, the first thing I want to teach you is believe in yourself. And you know what? To do that, you have to take full responsibility for your thoughts and actions. So number one, as you think deeply, because we want you to get away here. We want you to spend time alone and think through this. But first of all, believe in yourself. And I have so much dialogue, I talk about that, but the time I want. The second thing she taught me was the willingness to see the best in others. She's seen the best in me, I did not. But she taught me that, and that when you see the best in others, people will rise to meet your level of expectation. They will rise, they will get there. I will tell you, people throughout my career believed in me, and they believed in more in me than I believed in myself at times, but they taught me to, and I rose to a level of expectation, and that how you treat people, treat them positively, and they will treat you back the same way. The third thing she taught me was focus on solutions. There's always problems, and there will always be problems, there'll always be those kind of things, but focus on solutions, not the problems. And, we worked at a company that we did that. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of problems. There was a lot that came across our desk every day. Mm-hmm. But the thing that we did, and I know Celia did the same thing, is that beside my desk was our core values at Walmart. And now I didn't need them there. I promise you, they were in my head and heart, but I had them taped there only for one reason, they guided me. Because when I was on the phone or Zoom or wherever, when an issue came across my desk, I was reminded when I looked left of those values. Not that I needed it, but I was reminded to focus on solutions. And so someone told me at Walmart one time, I wrote this down, forget the past because yesterday ended last night. You know,
That's exactly right.
You probably could guess who told me that. But anyway, the last thing I want to tell you is be persistent. Be persistent. Take responsibility for your life and yourself, and don't duck that. Take full responsibility for yourself. Refuse to be discouraged. You know, we get discouraged. I do. Celia, I know you do. But refuse it. I mean, really, let's move forward. And that's what we're asking you to do today. And then never let disappointment get the upper hand of you. You know, you are a phenomenal individual.
Yes.
You can accomplish so much in your life. Believe in yourself. And this isn't just words. I'm telling you, we're setting here as examples of this.
Yes.
I mean, look what Celia wrote and what she just did and what her mission in life's about. And she has, if you look at her life, and I know her fairly well, it's about children and women. That is her focus. Mine's about the voice. And using my voice, I'm doing a podcast today that I thought would never happen. But I worked hard, I stayed positive, and fortunately, it opened up. And I will tell you, it's one of the greatest things in my life. And I am not going to waste my voice at all, because I'm going to use it, I hope, to have impact and accomplish my mission in life. That's to use my voice here in a very positive way.
Yeah.
So stay persistent. And let's get this done. Go get this done. I mean, we can't.
Take the time
to
invest in yourself.
Yeah, yes.
Totally right.
Please do. It'll be so awesome. And you will, we want to hear from you too. And
absolutely.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. And you can write us, and our information will be on our website. Share your stories with us. We may have you on to share your story.
Share your personal mission statement. Put us in your audience of people that you want to try it out with.
Yeah. You know, see, I think that's what we should do. Here's what I think we do. When we release this podcast and all, you go to our website, you write us, and we may have you on to talk about your personal mission statement.
I think that's
great. And I don't live in Northwest Arkansas. We don't care, because you know what? We have technology to get you in this room, and we can do that. So let's get you here, get in this room with us. Like, you know, we can beam you in here, and you can be on our show, and we'll talk about this, because I think this has to come back. This is not one episode.
This is not.
I think this is going to be more, Celia.
Well, I love your challenge. I think it'd be fabulous to have examples of people who, found the right words, and it's meaningful.
Yeah, let's go get this done. Yeah. You know, we can do this.
Yep,
you can do this, and I will tell you, it could change your life.
Yeah,
it could change your life.
That. It has for me.
Well,
when you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
I have all the tools to do this.
Yeah.
Now it's about my attitude and my actions.
Mm-hmm.
And just constantly holding yourself up to that standard of it's about my attitude and my actions and my, living up to my personal mission statement. It becomes empowering beyond anything you could think.
Right. And persistence will get you there.
Persistence, that's right.
Stay persistent through the ups and downs. In fact, I give you a quick preview of our next podcast. We're going to talk about left turns, aren't we?
We are.
When life has a left turn. I wanted to go right many times. I went left. So we're going to share some of that. So for sure, right, Celia?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. It's been so good. Thank you so much to all of our viewers and listeners for inviting us into your life. It's been, we're so thankful for that. Celia Swanson, my co-host. Celia, it's so good to see you. Thank you.
I feel exactly the same way.
It's been great. Let us hear from you. Again, this has been Servant Leadership Today. I'm Andy Wilson, Celia Swanson. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.